is going to be like story time. Okay. We are doing 2 surahs. We are covering 2 surahs. We finished Surah Al-Kahf, and now the 2 surahs we are going to do is Surah Maryam and Taha. Okay. So Surah Maryam and Taha both are Makki surahs. Okay, Ammar? They were both revealed in Mecca before the Hijrah. Okay. And remember we spoke about how Surah Al-Kahf and Isra were addressing the Jews. Surah Maryam talks about the story of Maryam alayhi salam, and Isa alayhi salam's birth, and Zakaria and Yahya alayhi salam's birth. So it is more addressing Christians. Yeah?
Do the Christians think that Prophet Zakaria and Yahya
Are prophets.
are prophets?
Yeah. Okay. So Surah Maryam was revealed in the Meccan period, but just before the Muslims migrated to Habasha, to Ethiopia, to Abyssinia. Remember there was a hijrah before the hijrah to Medina to Habasha, right? To Ethiopia.
Where
You know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Amr ibn
As we'll talk to Najashi. Yeah, you know
A
that
few
story?
people didn't go. Muhammad said
Yeah, this hijrah, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't go. Okay,
there
so
were like 70.
And then they
yeah,
were.
so when the persecution increased, when the persecution of Muslims increased a lot, Allah told Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah gave permission to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and He told to the believers at that point that you have the permission to migrate to Abyssinia, to Habasha, where the king over there is a just king. Okay. Yes.
So did Allah say like specifically to go to there?
Yeah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam always acted only upon what Allah said. Even his hijrah was also based only on Allah's permission. Only after Allah
Even
gave
the
him
timing,
permission, everything, when to leave everything. Okay. Yes, Isma?
That's when once the Sahaba recites Surah Maryam.
Yeah. So the Muslims go, okay, with his permission, and what happened? The first group of people had only 11 men and 4 women. Okay, only these many people went to Habasha first. Okay, and then after that, more people followed. Okay, like around 83 men and 18 women. Okay. Some of them were also from not just Quraysh, like even other tribes. Okay, so because when these people left, a lot of the families among the Quraysh, they lost a family member, either their son or brother, somebody from their family had gone. Okay, went for the hijrah. So the Quraysh weren't happy, okay, and they wanted them to come back, okay, and also they were afraid that if Islam spreads over there in the new land, and they didn't want that, okay, they didn't want them to become strong there and rise against the Quraysh over here. So the Quraysh decided to send 2 people to Najashi, to the ruler in Habasha, to go and talk to them and negotiate so that they'll be sent back. Okay? So the 2 people who were sent was one is Amr ibn al-As. He later on becomes a Muslim, radiallahu anh, and then the other one was Abdullah bin Abi Rabi'a. He was the brother of Abu Jahl. So these people will, 2 people will go there. Before that, they will try to catch the Muslims as they're leaving. But by the time they reach the seashore, the seaport, they've already left in the boat. Okay?
Or like the names of Amr ibn As and all those things mentioned.
Yeah,
Like
that's
it's
what we know.
mentioned in the surah.
Yeah, actually the Sahabiya who narrates the story is Salama radiallahu anha. Okay, because Rasulullah sallallahu
So all
alaihi
of it
wasallam.
is mentioned in the Quran?
No, not in the Quran. This is in the tafsir, and from the hadith we know the explanation of all this. Okay? Yes, Asma?
Was Abdullah
Ibn Abi Rabia.
Did he later on become Muslim?
Good question. Abdullah bin Abi Rabia. I'm not sure. Okay. So then what will happen is Rasulullah, where was I? So he'll go there. These two people will go there and go and talk to Najashi and request that will talk to Najashi and will say that, you know, these people who came here now, they left our religion and they're not even embracing your religion. Like basically questioning, why are you then giving them protection? Why are you allowing them to stay here? So Najashi will be like, and when they hear, when the courtiers, other people hear this, they're like, oh yeah, why should we do that? Let's send them back. But then Najashi, because he was a just ruler, he's like, let's listen to their side also, their side of the story. So then they are called, okay, and their leader was Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's cousin, Ali radiallahu anhu's brother, Ja'far, ibn Abi Talib, and he will come and on behalf of the Muslims will talk.
It was Ibn.
Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, and he will talk to Najashi, and he'll basically say that what you're saying is right. We were living a very jahil life, like the life of ignorance. We didn't have good social life, like we didn't follow good social. We didn't treat people well. We were indulging in all sorts of sin. And Muhammad comes and he is the one who kind of called us to this path of discipline, called us to the path of Allah, and now we are, you know, alhamdulillah, we are Muslims. Okay. And so when Najashi hears this, and then he will say, okay, can I listen to some portion of the Quran? And that's when Ja'far ibn Abi Talib will recite from Surah Maryam, the first 40 or first 80, first 40 ayahs of the Surah. And when he hears the Surah, he's in tears, because what does the first ayah talk about? It talks about the story of Maryam alayhi salam, the birth of Isa alayhi salam. It talks about how Zakaria alayhi salam saw Maryam alayhi salam always making dua to Allah and so pious and connected to Allah, that Zakaria alayhi salam is inspired by Maryam. Seeing his niece, even though he is a prophet, he is inspired seeing his niece Maryam make dua, that I can also make dua like this, and he makes dua to Allah, and Allah blesses him with a son. Even though his wife was old at that time, and usually when women are that old, you don't have babies. Okay, but Allah blesses Zakaria alayhi salam to have a son who will also become a prophet. Okay, Yahya will be his son. Okay, and then Maryam alayhi salam. Yes, guys.
The cool thing about Prophet Yahya is Allah said to name him Yahya.
Yes.
Yahya alayhi salam, he would always cry, so he had tear.
Oh, because he would always cry praising Allah and thinking about Allah, right? Yeah, he was very spiritual and so connected to Allah and had a soft heart. So and so these are the ayahs that are mentioned in the first 40 ayahs, and also how Maryam alayhi salam, she has nobody at the birth of her son. You know the story of Maryam alayhi salam, how Isa alayhi salam or Jesus is born, right? She won't be married, but Allah blesses her with a baby, so she has to leave her town because everybody's asking her, how come you're having a baby without getting married? So she has to leave, and then she gives birth to Isa alayhi salam. She's by herself, and Isa alayhi salam talks to the people in his cradle. Okay, so all these miracles happen. Another thing is, even Zakaria alayhi salam, when he was blessed with Yahya, Allah will actually instruct him also to not speak for 3 nights. to anybody. 3 days and 3 nights to
So not
anybody.
to tell them.
Yeah. So there's the story. He's in tears and he's like, this is the same thing. This is, the story of somebody he believes and is connected to, right? He's a Christian. So then what will happen is, and then he'll say that, no, I cannot send these people away, okay? Because indeed, this message, this is coming from the same source that Jesus, Isa alayhi salam, got the message, basically from the same God, okay? And then what happens is the next day, Amr ibn al-As, he's not Muslim yet, okay? But when he becomes Muslim also, he has this clever, smart mind though, okay? He's like, I'm going to try one more time. So he goes to Najashi one more time and tells Najashi that, you know what, you have to ask what they say about who you call God, like Jesus, okay? Because he knows that's where the difference between Muslims and Christians are. So he wants to attack at that spot, the sensitive spot.
Like he was very desperate to be.
Yeah, he just wanted to somehow convince them, and he was a very good spokesperson for the Quraysh at that time.
Plus,
and he was
he
very
already had he already knew Najashi and they were good friends.
yeah, that's why they sent Amr ibn al-As also, because Amr ibn al-As and Najashi already knew each other. And then what happened is, so when he goes again and when he asks this, again Najashi calls upon the Muslims, and again Ja'far ibn Abi Talib will stand up and say that what we believe as Muslims, that Isa alayhi salam is a prophet, not son of God. God is one. That's how we are supposed to believe and all that. And when he hears that, Najashi was a true Christian. So he's not like following the wrong version of Christianity. He's a true Christian. So when he hears that, his heart will be like, this is how he'll basically pick up a straw from the ground and say that Jesus was no different, even as much as the straw, than what you are saying. Meaning, what you're saying is exactly what Isa alayhi salam was. Okay, so basically he believes in that too. That's what he's showing. Okay, and then the king, so the Quraysh delegates who came, Amr ibn al-As and Abdullah ibn Abi Rabi'a, would have come with gifts kind of to bribe Najashi. And Najashi will be kind of angry and will say that, no, take these back. Like, I don't want these gifts.
Anyways.
Yeah, no, but still, it was not because the king needs it. It's given as a way
Tradition.
to show respect and as a tradition. That's how you honor kings, no matter how much they have, right? It's not because he doesn't have. Okay, so this surah being revealed was kind of like a provision, a rizq from Allah that the Muslims in Habasha needed at that point. Because this surah is what worked exactly well with Najashi at that time, right?
And Muslim's cousin was clever to read that surah.
So yeah, who knows, maybe it was revealed for this purpose too. Yeah. So that's the end of Surah Maryam. The next surah is Surah Taha. Okay, and Surah Taha talks about the story of Musa alayhi salam. Okay, so Isa alayhi salam and Musa alayhi salam story. Okay, so Surah Taha is, do you guys remember an instance when Surah Taha is mentioned in the Seerah? Yeah.
When Umar was becoming Muslim.
What?
When Umar was becoming Muslim.
Yeah, that's in that
Mashallah.
story. Surah Taha is being mentioned. Very good. So, you guys know that story, right?
Yeah,
The story of Umar radiallahu anhu and becoming Muslim.
How he'll be actually walking to go and kill the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yeah.
And then a man, I don't know his name, but one of the Sahaba, he didn't want that to happen, so he'll say,
Go check out your sister. She
you-
has also.
yeah, you are
Become
you are going to Muhammad, but you don't even know that your own
Own
family.
sister has embraced Islam. So then Umar radiallahu anhu's anger is channeled to his own sister, and then he goes there, and then he happens to hear the Quran, and he hears Surah Taha, and that just changes his mind and he becomes Muslim.
When he goes to where Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is, Hamza radiallahu anh, he'll put a knife at his neck and he'll say,
Are you coming here to kill Rasulullah?
Because he had his sword
He
out.
had his sword, but then Umar radiallahu anhu will say, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will tell Hamza radiallahu anhu, calm down, because he'll know
The
that
old
he came to
uncle
become
had so
Muslim.
much respect for him.
Yeah. So that's when, like in the seerah, this instance is being mentioned. But what the surah is talking about is Musa alayhi salam's story. Okay, so how Musa alayhi salam is suffering and his people are suffering from the persecution of Fir'aun, and it's mentioned as like a comparison to what is happening between the Quraysh and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay.
And what was
And it's a similar situation, right? So that's being mentioned, and then the dialogue between Fir'aun and Musa alayhi salam is being mentioned. Okay, and then even Ibrahim alayhi salam is being mentioned. You know why? The part where Ibrahim alayhi salam has the conversation with his father, and his father because of his father and his people, Ibrahim alayhi salam has to run away from his own people, right? So that part is being mentioned. So the reason why it's being mentioned is the Muslims were going through the same thing, right? Where they had to kind of leave everything and go for the migration, right? And that's the similarity between Ibrahim alayhi salam being mentioned and what is happening to the Muslims at that point.
I
Okay?
have a question. So was this revealed like at the same time as Surah Maryam?
Yeah, it was revealed around the same time. Okay?
So it makes sense because that's when they were getting persecuted a lot.
Yeah.
So
And then they also migrated to Habasha, right? And then Adam alayhi salam is being mentioned too. The story of Adam alayhi salam and how Shaitan is tempting Adam alayhi salam, right, to eat from the tree.
Christians say it's
Yeah.
apple.
The reason why it's being mentioned is as if to tell the Quraysh that you are following the way of Shaitan. But you have to follow the way of your father, Adam alayhi salam, who, yes, he made a mistake, just like the Quraysh made a mistake. But Adam alayhi salam repented and turned to Allah.
which the Quraysh said.
So it's kind of encouraging the Quraysh to do the same thing. Okay? So what else?
Mama,
Mhm.
this is not really related, but for like every surah that was revealed
Mhm.
and they go and say it in public, didn't like a few people become Muslim?
Yeah, sometimes a lot of people, some people became Muslim, sometimes nobody would listen, sometimes he was being mocked at. Okay, I'll just recite, before we end, I'll just recite one ayah. Okay, by the way, it's in this surah that Musa alayhi salam is praying to Allah and saying, Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Okay, and then he's also, after that, we just say till that, right? And then he's asking, waj'al li wazira, like give me somebody to help me, min ahli, from my family, Harun akhi, like make Harun, my brother, my supporter, like so that we can do dawah together. Okay, all that is being mentioned in this surah. Okay, so we'll end with this. I'm just going to read this ayah, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, because this is a reminder of where we are going to go back and where we have to go back to. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. منها خلقناكم وفيها نعيدكم ومنها نخرجكم تارة أخرى. Allah is saying, we have created you from the earth. Okay, منها خلقناكم. We have created you all from earth. وفيها نعيدكم, and you shall return to it. عاد means to return. You shall return to it. ومنها نخرجكم, and then from it, Amar, and from it. Okay, Amar, do you know from what we are created? Are we created from fire, what? Play-Doh? From clay, right? Because, okay, we are created from the ground, from mud, okay, from clay. Okay, so Allah is saying, listen to this ayah, then you won't forget. Allah is saying, we have created you from the earth, means from the clay, from the mud in the ground, from the soil.
Mama,
Okay?
you know, in
What?
the soil there is clay.
Yeah. Okay, so Allah is telling,
Somewhere.
that's why it's of clay, you said Play-Doh, right? وَفِيهَا نُعِيدُكُمْ. And when we die, where are we going to go back to? When we die, where are we going to be buried?
In the grave.
In the grave. Where is the grave? In the ground, right?
So
وَمِنْهَا نُخْرِجُكُمْ. And then, before the day of judgment, Allah will raise us again from the ground. تَارَةً أُخْرَى. Once again. Okay? So this is a reminder of our death and our roots, where we are coming from. And so we have to humble ourselves. And by the way, this is what we say when a person dies and their burial is happening.
Oh,
Everybody throws, yeah?
Oh, okay.
Everybody throws. It's sunnah to throw some, you take some mud and throw 3 times. Everybody who's over there does it. So this is the ayah you say when you're throwing the mud into the grave. منها خلقناكم وفيها نعيدكم ومنها نخرجكم تارة أخرى. It's a reminder that we come from it, we go back to it, and Allah will rise us from it
Another
again.
dua, or when we hear that someone dies, we say Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, which means we change from Allah
We'll
and
return.
because Allah is the one who created.
Yes, and that one you can say when any calamity strikes. Okay. Okay, so let's end over here. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika wa la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu